What's up, guys? It's Kiku from the podcast, and I am here with a living legend of comic books, actually, Tony Isabella. Tony, you are most famously known, at least to me you are, and I know to our co-host Ray, as creating the character Black Lightning for DC Comics in 1972. 76, excuse me. Which is a landmark character because it was the first African-American character to have his own title in DC, correct?
And DC, yes.
Why was it important for you to create that character?
Well, growing up, I had black friends who were comic book fans, and it always struck me as very unfair that they could not see themselves reflected in the comic books. So I started at Marvel. I worked on things like Luke Cage, The Living Mummy, took a supporting character, made him Black Goliath. I wanted to call him Giant Man, but apparently Giant Man is so really bad.
Yeah.
I would have killed to have a giant-sized Giant Man comic, but
That's
it was
amazing.
not meant to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, Black Panther, great character, African prince. Can kids relate to that? Luke Cage, ex-convict. Even the Falcon, they retconned him into a former criminal. Even Black Goliath was a hotshot scientist. And so in creating Black Lightning, I wanted a positive role model who kids could relate to, and every kid has a teacher. And I wanted to do stories that were more down to earth, set in a more urban setting, because that's where I grew up and that's where my heart is even today, with those kinds of stories. Everything about Jeff Pierce was created first. Everything about Black Lightning's civilian identity was in place before I figured out what kind of superhero powers he would have. And then when I brought it to DC Comics, it was a fully formed entity. If you have time, do you know the story of the Black Bomber?
No, why don't you tell us?
Okay, here's how Black Lightning came to be. I'd come over from Marvel to DC. DC handed me 2 scripts of a character called the Black Bomber, who was a white racist who took part in chemical camouflage experiments in Vietnam so that he could blend into the jungle better. The experiments didn't have any effect on him in Nam, but when he came home, in times of stress, he would turn into this black superhero. He did not know he turned into a black superhero. His other identity didn't know that he was really a white racist. Their girlfriends knew, and somehow never brought this up to them. And it gets worse. In each of the 2 scripts, he saves someone he can't see. And turns out he's risked his life for an African-American person. And there's one issue where he rescues a baby in a carriage that's out of control, sees it's a black child, and literally says, this is in the script, "You mean I risked my life for a jungle bunny?" Oh, it gets a little bit worse. His uniform was basically a basketball uniform. So at this point, they said, "We want you to punch up these scripts and then take over the book with the 3rd issue." And I said, "No, you cannot publish these scripts." "Well, what do you mean? We paid for them." "No, they are offensive. They are probably the most offensive comic book scripts I have ever read. If you try to publish them, people will come to the offices with pitchforks and torches. I will be among them. I will be leading them." It was finally, after they got over their frustration that, these were not publishable, I said, "Give me a few weeks, I'll create a new character for you." And that was the start of my creating Black Lightning. No input from DC on Black Lightning. When I delivered Black Lightning to them, it was a fully formed character. And we entered into a partnership agreement for them to publish it.
Oh, okay.
So not only is Black Lightning a great character, if I may say so.
Oh, we agree.
But you owe me for keeping the Black Bomber from being published.
We're actually going to bring that up on our show for sure, especially after, because we're audio based. But in this video, we'll go on our YouTube page. But it's a really interesting story. I'm actually glad we sat down, sir.
It will be included in my memoir of sorts that I'm working on.
I hope so. Do you feel that they took kind of, here recently in the 80s and 90s, and I always forget the name of the comic company that created Static Shock.
Milestone.
Thank you, Milestone Media. Do you feel that they took like a step forward, made a younger version of Black?
Well, I mean, yeah, Static Shock was always meant to be kind of a young version of Black Lightning. I love the Milestone movies. To my mind, Dwayne McDuffie is one of the greatest writers comics ever seen. He's a friend of mine. No, I didn't have any problem with Static Shock at all. I love those books. And currently, DC and I are trying to patch up past differences, which is why there'll be a reprint collection of my first Black Lightning series.
Oh, wow.
And if it does as well as we hope, I wrote the introduction for it. We'll have 2 more volumes that'll finish with my second Black Lightning series. And there may be some new stuff after that.
Nice. And of course, my last question, are we going to see Black Lightning on TV or in the movies?
It is certainly the hope of some of the executives and editorial people at DC to see that happen.
We want to see it happen.
Yeah, same here.
So, Mr. Isabella, I really appreciate you sitting down with me. I will see you at our panel this afternoon.
Happy to do that.
Thank you very much.
And my thanks to all the people at Pensacon. What a great convention this is.
It's been awesome. It's been awesome the whole weekend. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Nick the podcast, guys, keep it nerdy and check out Black Lightning.